Hello and welcome back to the FPL Tom preview stream ahead of blank game week 29. I imagine there's going to be quite a few questions this week. We are also going to be reviewing our teams from double game week 28. Jake did use his triple captainship, so it'll be interesting to see his thoughts after that one. Jake, how you doing today, mate? How you doing? How you feeling?
I'm doing good, mate. I am doing good. You know what was nice this week? It was nice to get out and see a football game.
It
I know the
was.
result didn't go to plan, but it was nice getting out and going and seeing football in the flesh. It is so rewarding, isn't it? Regardless of the result.
Yeah, it is indeed. Both of us probably big armchair fans, you'd have to say. You more than me.
Yeah, I was going to say not for the one to try, and I think you do try your best considering where you are in the country.
I try my best. I'm off to the Bradford game at the weekend.
Exactly, and to be fair, I try my best because Birkenhead's a long way from Liverpool, you know.
It is, mate. It is. It is. So you've got to think you've got to go through the tunnel. Like,
I
you got
know.
Merseyrail. That's just
Exactly.
where
I'm glad you're
it's
seeing it from my way, my view.
exactly. Or you could just open your laptop, go to an illegal website, and there's the game straight away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
There we go. There we go. It's all good stuff. It is all good stuff. That was a nice little bit of waffle as always to start these streams. Like I said, we will be going through. Go on,
Sorry,
interrupt
I'm
me.
going to interrupt you
Yeah.
extremely,
Go on. Be extremely rude. Come
but
on.
but I think you actually touch on a very nice point. I
Mm.
think Wednesday's game in hand, which wasn't televised, is the clearest, the most obvious example of why every Premier League game should be on telly.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's
What a
absolutely
miserable,
ridiculous.
miserable decision that is from television rights.
It seems absolutely ridiculous that in every other country you can watch every other single Premier League game, bar the country where it's actually being taking place.
I do understand the 3 p.m. blackout. I get that, but come on. Like when I get 3 p.m. blackout game is now on a Wednesday night. Just put it on the telly.
Yeah. I mean, you had a very interesting advert on your stream last night, didn't you?
Yeah. I actually didn't watch the rest of the game after I saw that advert.
No. And that,
Um,
ladies and gentlemen, is today's sponsor of the stream. So if you are
Local
looking
men
for
in
any,
your area.
if you are looking for any local mums in your area,
No, lad, it was local men.
oh, local men. Oh, wow.
Well, to be fair, local men is probably the nice way of putting what it actually said on that advert.
Yeah. We don't want to get in any hot water here and offend anyone. So we'll stick to the fantasy stuff. Like I said before, Jake decided he was going to interrupt me. We will be
Course.
covering our double game week 28 teams. We're also going to talk about our plans for game week 29. We're also going to answer any of your guys' questions. We will try and work through some of them. I can see we've got some regular people in the chat. Louise, Matthew and Anton, who is now a member of the channel as well, so shout out to him. If you do want to become a member, there we go, I'll get it right, become a member of the
Is
channel.
being a member myself.
You're a member. It only costs 99p, and when we do these streams, especially the deadline one, you will get priority on your questions, and yeah, you get some cool emotes as well, so it's all good stuff for 99p. And if you don't want to become a member and just want to subscribe, that's equally fine. Do that as well. Right, we're going to start off with the most illustrious award in the FPL community. It is going to be Bed Shitter of the Week. I feel there's some very, very strong contenders for this game week. But Jake, I'm going to come to you first. Who are you nominating as your Bed Shitter for game week 28?
I'm actually having a. There's two ways I can look at it. I can't see what you've got on your screen, unfortunately, because there's a bloody Muller Corner advert playing.
Are you sure it's the Muller
But
Corner advert?
oh yeah, local Mullers in your area.
Yeah.
Um, whatever that means. But I'm torn between um Haaland and Solanke for completely different reasons. Haaland because of course he did nothing,
Mm.
and I assume he will have been second or third most captain player because you just do back Haaland in any game.
Yeah.
But of course, on the contrary, he was again like away to Liverpool, which is a tough one. And then the other one I'm thinking of is Solanke purely because of the fact that I think he was the second most captain player, was he, or something this double game
He
week?
was. He
But
was. Yeah.
Was he second most triple captain player since after Haaland's
Yeah,
double? Something like
after
that.
Haaland's triple in 26, was it?
Yeah, and so I know Bournemouth really did things the hard way this week. Like in this double game week, coming back from like an aggregate of 6-0 down in both the games overall,
Mm.
but or 5-0 down. But I think I'm gonna stick with Solanke purely because I've personally triple captained him. I thought it was a banker. I was laughing my tits off because Haaland only got a goal in his double. But he played the first game and he came away with 2 points in that first game, which meant that he ended up with 10 points. Meanwhile, Dominic Solanke skied his penalty into the whatever the docks are in Bournemouth. Um, so I think despite him scoring, the fact that he's missed a penalty, I feel like he's my bed shitter this week because I like we've been oohing and ahhing and like proper hyping this up as probably the easiest double game week you could ask for,
Mm.
especially for a side like Bournemouth, who, other than like the classic top six, and that's not even including Chelsea, I guess, at the moment. So let's say the classic top five, if we're not including Chelsea's hot and cold form. Bournemouth are one of the like informed teams after that. So you really did bank on Solanke to do absolutely loads. And I thought he would at least get 2 goals, if not three, across the course of those games. And just to rub salt in the wounds, Semenyo's been the best player in the world since I got rid of him.
I think that was always going to happen, though. Semenyo was, of course, going to pop up. I think it's a little bit harsh on Solanke to put him in here because he still did get the goal yesterday. Got 2
But
bonus as well. I know.
triple captain. There were, I think, 200,000 triple captains. I think he was the most popular captain, and he's had two easier games than City had when Haaland should have done better. And his XG will have been considerably higher because he skied a penalty. If he hadn't missed that penalty and did nothing against Sheffield United, maybe I'd be more forgiving. But as a striker, you've got to be scoring those, and it was just typical that when everyone backs him, he skies it.
True.
So that's why I'm going to nominate him.
All right. I can get on board with that. I think Haaland was a very good shout from you. KDB, Foden. You know, I was one of the people that
Liverpool
decided...
away is tough, though, isn't it?
It is, but I decided to keep them over buying Son. Not a very sensible decision. Saka as well. I think he was the third most captain player this week. A blank for him. But the player that I'm going to pick is Kirkez from Bournemouth. A lot of people had Senesi out. A lot of people went for Zabania. Some people went for Kirkez. Sean...
Fair play if you went Zabania.
Sean and our flatmate, you know, he decided, I'm going to go for Kirkez. Yellow card in the first game and came off at half time. Then didn't even start the second game. So, yeah, 1 point off a double game week with Sheffield United and Luton. It's pretty stinky, especially if you'd have gone Zabania as well and he scored last night. So
Chris Mepham got an assist.
Chris Mepham got an assist. So whatever other defender you went for, you were in the money, bar if you went for Kirkez.
Yeah.
So it just feels a little bit harsh. So he's going to be my bed shutter of the week. So get your votes in for that. We do have Dominic Solanke versus Kirkez. So yeah, the vote is up for that one. So get your...
A bit heavy, really, isn't it? Considering their emphatic comeback on Wednesday that we are criticising them, but it's just the way of you've got to take away the team performance and the way that they rejuvenated in that second half and look at them personally. And I think it's just harsh luck in fantasy points wise with Kirkez. It just didn't click these two games. And then with Solanke, like I say, I think on a normal day, if you had like Haaland's double game week that was coinciding with Solanke, maybe he would have gone under the radar. But I think if we're looking specifically at fantasy football, I think you have to look at those two players because they really have shut the bed and they haven't performed how they should have done.
True. All right, I can get on board with that. Right, let's go and take a look at how your team did, Jake, in game week 28. Obviously, use your triple captainship on Dominic Solanke. 71 points scored for you. Quite an impressive rank gain as well. So if you want to talk us through what went well, what didn't go so well, I imagine Dominic Solanke is going to come up again in this section.
Yeah. I mean, it's a weird one because I've just like criticised him, but overall, triple captaining him was the second best player really I could have triple captained, and I would never have considered Son because he didn't have a double game week. He had an excellent game, and he has good run form in the past against Aston Villa, but I never would have expected him to get a goal and 2 assists. Fair play to him, and fair play to anyone that has actually triple captained him this week. Last week, sorry. But no, Solanke getting me 24 points really has made my rank jump up, so I'm happy with that. It's just one of those things of what could have been had he slotted that penalty away. Who knows how that Sheffield United game would have gone, because that would have put them 1-up instead of going 2-0 down.
Yeah.
So it could have been a whole different story, but that's just the way of the world, isn't it, in fantasy football? Like I said, took out Semenyo a few weeks ago, then he scores the winner against Newcastle and scores 2 goals against Luton. And he played absolutely fantastically. He looked great against Luton.
He did.
Not that I watched the game because it wasn't on telly legally.
It wasn't on telly.
I just imagine he was great.
No, you watch the highlights. It's fine.
Yeah, that's the one. I know when Sky Sports, I don't know if you saw on Twitter when they were updating it. Usually when they do live updates, they show the goal. Instead, it was just the scoreboard of, oh, there's a goal. So I just imagined when they were talking about Semenyo, I was like, oh, what a player.
What a great goal, yeah.
So yeah, so I'm happy with Solanke. Like, I'm content because he got that goal, like you mentioned. But like I say, it's what could have been. I could have broken into the 100 points had Solanke actually done what I expected him to do. Just getting those 2 more goals across those 3 games, I think I could have. I would really have benefited. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Of course, Son having him in has really worked for me. It worked having Lewis Dunk despite Brighton's really iffy form at the moment. Mm-hmm. Other than that, nothing too much to write home about. Fortunately, I just had 2 high-scoring players with my triple captain and with Son. Little win for the 2 of us, Tom, with Morris getting 4 points and Haaland only getting 2. Did he get?
You got 2, yeah. We'll take the win. We'll take the win.
We'll take the win because it also means he plays this weekend. Like hopefully, if everything is well fitness-wise. Not that there is a fitness that I'm just saying, like, he should play this weekend and Haaland doesn't, so it should benefit us even more. Nice little assist for Doherty, but yeah, like I say, not much more to write home about. I'm just quite content with the fact that I have jumped up above the average and made a little jump into the top 300,000. It seems
that's not right. That's not right, mate. 2.8 mil. Yep.
I said that out loud and I was like, that's not right. I was 4 millionth not so long ago. But even so, I'm in the top 2.8 mil, so I'm happy with that.
Well done, you. Mate. Well done. Pat on the back.
Thank you, and I'm happy that I didn't make any desperate -4s because, of course, like I think there was that thought of making a -4 and bringing in an extra Luton defender. That wouldn't have gone very well. I know they play this weekend, and it might have benefited me somewhat to get maybe an extra 2 points. But the way that they defended against Bournemouth, like, I'm happy that I didn't go for that.
Yeah. It's a bottle of 3-0 lead. Sorry, it's not really what you want when you want to be looking at defenders, is it?
Not at all. Especially, I don't think anyone actually got any points, bar Doherty at the back.
No, Issa Kabore got an assist.
Can't think off the top of my head. Who?
Issa Kabore got an assist as well, so he picked up some points.
Fair enough. But, yeah, a bit of a bottle from Luton.
Yeah.
Bless them. I just don't think they're really cut out for the league. I think it just shows that there is a massive difference in quality because they definitely have the character, they definitely have the heart, and I don't think they would have bottled that had they been at home. But they just their home form is all they can rely on to keep them up this season, I think.
It is indeed. Or maybe like a massive points deduction for Forest.
Yeah. Chuck Everton in there again as well.
You know that we bumped up to 6, but we're going to bump it back down to 10 just because we like Luton. They're better.
Just for Luton's sake, yeah. Just for Ross Barkley.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's move on to your team for blank game week 29. You're not planning on using the free hit. Kind of talk us through what players you are potentially looking at bringing in. Is there any minuses and potential captaincy for this week?
So yeah, it's pretty much what it says on the tin here. It doesn't really matter who I play and who I don't play as, because I'm pretty sure, like, even if I put the 3 players on the bench that are playing this weekend, they'd come in anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, here's what it says. I'm not gonna have Solanke captain. I don't know if you've kept that as Solanke captain.
I've put Son for you, mate.
Okay. Yeah, I think Son is the sensible one. That being said, Watkins, it's also a perceivable one. It really works either way, but I do think I'm gonna opt for Son. Um, transfer wise, we were talking about this. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but we were looking at Forest's form, and their run does look all right, and it does
Mm.
get a lot brighter for them and more promising. If there is a threat of them having a points deduction, they're really going to have to get some points soon. So I think at my decision, I think my transfer is probably going to be Neto out, and I'm thinking of bringing in Morgan Gibbs White. I think I'm also going to just rely on the 7 players.
Okay. Okay. I mean, you've got the key kind of big boys in there, Son and Watkins, really. So I feel like if you captain Son, you should be fine.
8 players, sorry. So I've got 8 players if I bring Gibbs White in, sorry.
Yeah.
So that's not bad.
I think that's pretty. I think that's pretty good, mate. To be honest, I don't think there's any kind of need for maybe a minus. Maybe maybe Ped Porro, if you really wanted, or Ivan Toney probably would be the only 2 players.
Yeah, that's true. But it's one of those really where like taking that minus, is it really worth it this week when next week if I'm not considering a wild card immediately, am I gonna want a -4 next week just to make sure I get well not next week, but after the international break to make sure I get Haaland back in and maybe even consider someone like Salah.
Okay.
I don't
Okay. Yeah,
um
it's all good for.
cheers, mate.
No, no. I feel like we spoke about this a few weeks ago, didn't we? Really, to be honest, both our teams have kind of been set up the past few weeks not to free hit, and we've kind of spoke about it in length about as long as you have the likes of Son and Watkins, and one of them as captain, I feel like you're pretty much gonna be fine for this week.
Yeah.
And I feel that's a message for kind of a lot of people as well that are probably going to ask me on the deadline stream or in today's stream, I've got 7 or I can get to 8 or 9. Is that acceptable? Yeah. Because
I'd agree with that.
realistically, like looking at this team, if you were to free hit, there's probably only maybe like 4 players you're missing out on. But out of those 4 players, do I feel confident that they're worth the free hit? No. It'd be like
No,
Porro,
exactly. It's
Tony.
exactly the same as what we were considering last week, whether you pile in an extra Luton defender for this game week or you bring that extra Bournemouth player in. And it's just gone to show that actually completely relying on 2 teams, and here in this case, we'll only be relying on another 2 teams, say, to bring players in. It isn't always worth it. Maybe it'll work for some people that take that gamble,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think it is actually as crucial as it may seem to have that full squad.
Yep, I agree with you there. I do agree with you on that one, mate. Any final thoughts for you about your team?
Mm, no.
I was,
No. Are you at what do you reckon about the captaincy, Son over Watkins for you?
yeah, I think we'll come on to talk about it later. We've got a slide for captaincy, but that is currently my thought process: Son over Watkins.
Yeah.
Just because
What
Villa
about
are
Morris?
going to be playing tonight, aren't they?
What do you think about Morris?
No, Morris is not. Morris, he had his chance last week, and look what he did. Look what he
It's
did.
true.
But he still outscored Haaland, so
He did.
we're up
He
on
should
that
have
one.
scored on Wednesday. I don't know if you saw on the video printer.
I did. I saw on the video printer it came through Morris nearly goal.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, some of us don't have to illegally stream games, so it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, no, I was actually just FaceTiming you whilst you were watching it on the zone.
Yeah. It's all good.
Completely convenient. You weren't like streaming it to me. You just happened to be watching it and it was in the mirror. But anyway,
Anyway.
we're diverging.
Yeah. Right, let's answer some of your guys' questions before we move on to my team. Louisa said he went from 5,303 to 11,000 after a bit of a stinker in game week 28. He's took 3 transfers and has taken a -8 to have 9 this week. He said, is that enough? I personally believe so. He says, Maddison, Son, Watkins, Doherty, my main guys. Yeah. Like me and Jacob said, as long as you've got Watkins and Son, I think you're going to be fine for this week as long as you can put those players out. Matthew has said, what is the most optimal formation for game week 29, considering I have 11 players? I mean, well, it depends what 11 players you've got. I'd just shove them all in the team, to be honest, Matthew.
Yeah, exactly. That's more than anyone else is probably going to have without taking a hit or a wild card
True.
or a free hit.
True. I do feel, though, if I was on a free hit, I do feel this point is still kind of valid. If I was on a free hit, I wouldn't be going above 3 defenders maximum. I'd have Ped Porro and then anyone. Probably not a Luton defender unless it's Doherty. Outside of that, I just don't think there's any point in going for any more defenders. The likelihood of a clean sheet this week is pretty slim. All the games I could see having goals in.
Even Burnley Brentford.
Mate, that honks. That's a 5-goal thriller, that. Matthew has also asked, are we twins? Are we twins, Jake?
Yeah.
Yep, good.
It's the perms, lad.
Yeah. Good. Jay Maffo. I wonder who this could be. She's put, yep, fantasy is usually better than reality. Your mum's piping in the chat now, Jake. She loves it. So it's great.
Oh. Cheers, Jackie.
Yeah, shout out to Jackie. Happy Mother's Day as well. That was obviously at the weekend.
Did you say that to your mum?
I did actually. She might be watching. She might be watching.
Oh, yeah.
I know what you were gonna say.
I'm not saying it.
Anton has also put, Ramsdale destroyed my game week. I have both Saliba and Gabriel. It is true, to be fair. He destroyed a lot of people's game weeks. As we'll come on to see with my team. Let me just make sure everything is good on this end. There we go. We're all good. There we go. We can move on to my team. So, for me this week, bit of a stinker. Can't lie. About a 60k rank drop in the end, which isn't great. We didn't have Son. We didn't have Cole Palmer either. My 2 transfers in were Morris for Haaland and Ped Porro for Senesi. The Ped Porro move worked quite well. Clean sheet, 1 bonus point. Good stuff. Gives me another player for this week as well. So very happy with that move. The Morris one, we needed a goal really to make up for that Son one. I said it in the preview stream. I said it in the deadline stream as well. Son was the player this week that I was massively fearful, to be honest, of. And well, my worst fears kind of came true, didn't they, to be honest? Foden with a blank and Son with an absolute mega haul that would have put me on a positive green arrow if I'd have done that move. But it's all.
Oh my God, is that another week where I've beaten you?
It is, mate, it is. But you did play a triple captain this week, so it doesn't...
I actually want to counter that without my triple captain, I still would have dubbed.
Well, maybe. It is what it is. It is what it is. Anyway, the rest of the team is pretty honky. Doherty picking up that assist in the second game was all right. Everyone else, stinker. Gabriel, 1-pointer. Thank you for that one, Ramsdale. The midfield, no points there, apart from Garnacho, who's first sub. And I think I do have to kind of realise I probably shouldn't be benching Garnacho as much as I am. He does actually seem very, very good for Manchester United and one of their kind of bright sparks in a pretty bang average season, to be honest. So I definitely think I should be playing him more when United do have the better fixtures. But it is a case he might not be sticking around in the team because I think the plans for me probably going to be wildcard 30 to go and get Salah in. That's the plan, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with that.
See what happens. There's a whole international break, isn't there, for him to lose a leg or something?
Tweak something, yeah. You know.
We went for 2 different ends of the spectrum there, didn't we?
We did really. Jamie, a regular of these streams, he said, let's go. What's up, boys? We're pretty good. I think Jake's doing pretty good as well.
Yep, can't complain.
He can't complain. Let's move on to my team for this blank game week 29. As you can see, I'm in quite a favourable position without using the free hit. We do have 5, 6, 7, 8 already. The transfer this week is going to be Odegaard to Son and play him and probably captain Son for this week. I might take a minus for Ivan Toney, and the only reason I'm thinking of doing that, Burnley are pretty dreadful. Brentford desperately need some points to kind of steer themselves away from the relegation battle because they are steering it in the barrel a little bit. I think it's only 1 win in their last 7 league games. Something pretty dire as well for them. Plus, it's Ivan Toney's birthday. And we all know players absolutely love scoring on their birthday. So I think it's written in the stars, to be honest, that one.
Let me do some head-to-head research as well, shall we?
Well, he won't have played in the last one, will he?
Yeah, but he'll have played Burnley before.
Maybe.
I reckon so.
All right. Well,
at
while
Peterborough.
you're looking at that, I'll kind of talk through the rest of my team then. I think
So Leicester did score.
what Visser.
Leicester scored.
I'd probably be another bicycle kick if I bring him in.
Yeah, that's true.
The only game I'm concerned about this week, and I don't know if you feel the same, is Villa versus West Ham.
What's your concern?
Well, both of them are obviously playing tonight in the Europa Conference League and Europa League. And it just seems
Well, West Ham are 4-0 up already, by the way, so they'll probably be
West Ham
resting
are 4
players.
0 up. Well, that eases some
Yeah.
concerns. Has Bowen scored?
Yeah, so is Kudus.
Oh, okay. They're 5 0 up, actually.
Oh, yeah, Kudus has 2.
Oh.
Bowen assist.
Oh, why is he
Bowen
playing?
2 assists.
Why is he still
Why
playing?
are they still
then?
playing?
Yeah, I know. Moyes, you're through. Get him off.
Yeah, all he's taken off is Antonio and Paqueta. What the hell?
Oh, that's poor from Moyes. That's what I mean. That concerns me. Then Villa have got the big game at 8 against Ajax as well. Like,
That's going to be tough. It's a tough game, that.
exactly, you know what I mean? So that game, I feel it could just be a bit leggy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I do get that. Just a bit of information for you. I've done a bit of research.
Go on.
He didn't play in the last fixture in the reverse, of course, because he was suspended.
Yeah.
But last season, was it last season? Yeah, last season, 2-0, scored both.
Last season? How did he play him last season?
Don't know.
Burnley were in the champ. They won the championship.
Sorry, March the 12th, 2022.
Right. Okay.
He scored a brace.
Oh, okay. That's quite positive then.
Yeah.
All right.
And like, there's nothing really more to tell you because it only actually shows me three games they've ever played together in the Prem. So I assume that's all they've ever played together in the Prem.
Probably all they've ever played, isn't
But
it?
yeah.
To be honest.
Although, on the contrary, it is at Burnley, and Brentford have won the 2 games they played at home, and Burnley won the game they've played at home. So we'll see.
Fair enough. Yeah. So that's how the team's looking this week. There you go. It's
I
probably
think
gonna
Tony is a good shout, though.
Yeah. Son and Tony are probably going to be my 2 transfers. One potentially maybe for a -4. It might be a late deadline thing. I kind of just flick it and go for it. But other than that, I think we're pretty sound with the 8 or 9 that we're going to have out this week. We've got the key boys
Are
coming
they
in. Go on.
are they the 3 o'clock game? Yeah, they are. So you might get a little leak of team news as well, won't you?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, is there an early kickoff this week?
No.
Is there not an early kickoff?
No, it's all postponed. I think it was supposed to be Arsenal-Chelsea.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I won't be doing a deadline stream then.
You're not doing one at all?
No, I'm at Bradford, aren't I?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. Although I could actually still do one. But maybe
On the
not till the deadline, if that makes sense.
Yeah, do one just in the first thing in the morning.
Yeah, or like maybe go to the gym, then come back and do one like 11 till like 1.
Or just do it in the gym.
Do it in the gym, on my way to Bradford, just plonk TikTok on in the car. You can't get arrested for stuff like that, surely.
Well, you've already caused enough chaos in the gym, I've heard. So, what's doing a stream?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, what questions have we had? Let's move on swiftly from that one. A Turkey in a Bush has said, start Douglas Luiz or Kudus.
Sorry, well, how many players have you got a Turkey in the Bush? Is he doing a free hit or something?
He might be doing a free hit. Yeah, he might be doing a free hit.
I mean, if you're doing a free hit, I feel like even then I'd still be playing both of them because, like we've said, there's not really that many players that you should be. I feel like if you had the perfect 11, you probably would have both of them in, would you not?
It depends who you've got up front. I think the 3 forwards that people will probably be going for are like Morris, Watkins, Tony, Muniz from Fulham.
Well, let's say they do. Let's say the best team you could have would be Morris, Tony, and Watkins. Your midfield would be Bowen, Son,
yeah,
and then it's whether you want to debate between maybe a Forest player, like I've said, like with Gibbs White, maybe doubling up on the Villa players with Kudus. Not Villa players, sorry, the West Ham players with Kudus. But with Villa, if you're going to want a midfielder, if you fancy Villa, there's no one really in midfield that you can actually rely on playing the full 90 minutes apart from Douglas Luiz.
Mm.
So, I mean, with Kudus scoring 2 goals, on the one hand, he's going to be in top form. He's going to be really confident. On the other hand, Moyes might not even bloody start him. I might hook him off after the hour. So it works both ways. I think personally, I'd play them both.
Right.
I'd like to know, a turkey in the bush, who you're going to be having to sacrifice if you were to hypothetically play Douglas Luiz and Kudus. Who would then be on your bench?
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Send us the team in. That might help us out a little bit more. He said he's back in
Just
David.
Son.
He said he's back in David Datro. Discovered him back when he was in Norway. Is he the guy that plays for Burnley that's on loan from Chelsea? And he scored that wonder goal against West Ham like a few weekends ago. Or this weekend. Or is that Fofana?
Oh, no, that's Fofana. Fofana plays on loan from Chelsea, yeah. I don't know who David Datro is.
I'm going to Google him. We're going to Google him. We're going to find out who he is. We're going to hunt him down.
Good that I've been playing I don't know if anyone's interested in little football general knowledge games and stuff, but there's a website, I don't know if you've heard of it, called Missing 11. It's really good. It renews every day. It's like Wordle and Global, all those games where they're different every day. They tend to do a Missing 11 team based on a previous fixture that's playing tonight. So, for example, Rangers against Benfica was today's Missing 11 team from a few years ago, because, of course, that game is currently happening today. And like at the weekend, it was a Liverpool against City team from the past, and you've got to like name the players and stuff. But they also have a tic-tac-toe where you'll have like players that play for, you've got, it's like noughts and crosses, but you have to know your football. And the amount of times that fucking Norway comes up, and I'm like, I only know Haaland and Odegaard. So here we go. David Datro. Oh, David Datro Fofana.
Yeah.
Is he Norwegian?
I don't think he's Norway. Well, he's Ivory Coast. He just played in Norway. There you go. That's why.
Oh, well, to be fair, that just adds to my argument, because they absolutely love throwing African teams in the mix. Cameroon really shafts me because I swear only Matip ever played for them.
Well,
and maybe Onana.
That was a nice sponsor. How much did you get paid for that one?
Nothing, to be fair. It's a good game though. Like I'd recommend it.
Oh, well, thanks for that. He's put my attack / mid is Bowen, Son, Madders, Davy D, Tony, Watkins, and then either Luiz or Kudus.
Bowen, Son, Madders. Sorry, I'm going a bit blind, but who's Davy D?
The guy we've literally just been speaking about.
Is he not a striker?
Yes. So that's what he's saying. His midfield and his attack. How many pints have you had over there?
Because I haven't slept. I've had a really bad night's sleep.
Oh yeah.
No, okay. Attack
Yeah.
is Tony, Watkins, and Fofana. Fine.
Yeah.
Then you got Bowen, Son,
Madders.
Madders, and then Luiz and Kudus. Okay, who are your 3 defenders then? Who are your 4 defenders?
Who realistically, who are you playing at the back? Because I think you should
just
only have
play
3. I think you should only have 3 defenders this week.
Hmm.
And I think I would prefer to play anyone over those. I feel like you're going to have Pedporo. You're probably going to have Doherty. And then whoever, maybe a Forest defender. I don't know.
Or maybe just go Romero or someone and hope for a set piece
Well, he
goal,
can't
maybe.
go
Or
for
Doji.
I'd prefer Pedporo.
Is Doji fit?
Yes, I prefer Pedporo though. He's just asked us what defence he should go for. 3 at the back. 3 at the back.
Yeah. All those you've mentioned are absolutely fine. Have 5 in midfield, 3 up top, and then 3 at the back.
Yeah.
Wait.
That
3,
doesn't
5,
work.
3. That doesn't work.
So he's gonna still have to pick a midfielder. We are drunk this evening. We have had one too many Shandy Basses, and it's absolutely caught on here.
No, I understand the dilemma now.
I think I'd play Kudus after tonight's performance.
I think I play both of them. I think I bench Fofana.
It's against Brentford.
Well,
He
if
scored that
you're
wonder
backing,
goal.
if he's going with his gut, then fair enough. And if you have to choose, I'll just make your life easier. I'll agree with Kudus. I do think Douglas Luiz is a banker to finish the game, though, and that's the only thing that goes for him.
Mm.
And he can find the back of the net a lot, like very frequent of late, whereas Kudus is a bit hit and miss. But yeah, he scored tonight twice, so he'll be a confident little boy, won't he?
He will indeed. He will indeed. George is in the chat, another member of the channel. Like I said, guys, if you do want to become a member, you do get priority in these chats, especially on the deadline stream when it is a little bit more chaotic. You will get priority, and that's only 99p. So what? Like it's just value for money. You know what I mean?
It really is. It really is, especially when you get a Big Willie in as
Exactly.
one
I
of the
need I
icons.
need I need to do that. That is on my list of things to do tomorrow. Is to upgrade all the kind of perks and stuff. So yeah, there'll be some new ones for members. Don't worry, you'll be able to send a Big Willie into the chat. And no, it's not that Big Willie. Oh,
Oh, you silly Billy.
you silly goose. Oh. He says, thing is though, I'm chasing a guy in my mini league with Louise. That's more reason to go against him. Go against Louise. Don't be thinking what your mate's doing. Go against him. Attack. You love
Yeah,
to see
because it
it.
doesn't. I assume he's not gone for Fafana because you're going with your gut there,
Yeah,
and he's got Louise. So there's your differential. Go with Kudus. Yeah, I agree with you, Tom. Like, be a bit different. Don't go safe. Why are we going safe? You've gone for a free hit. I mean, unless he's gone for a free hit as well, you're probably going to have the advantage. And if he's free hit as well, then I actually rate you just going for something completely unique.
yeah,
And to be fair, Fofana's not a terrible shot at all because like he does look bright. It's just a shame he plays for Burnley, who don't like attacking.
true. True. George has also put probably doing Solanke to Tony this week. I'm probably potentially doing the same move as well for the -4. So yeah, a lot of people high on the Tony hype, eh? Oh, and some
Oh,
Lucas
do you reckon
Akins
I
in the
should be
chat.
from Tony as well?
Maybe. It depends what your strategy is afterwards. Are you wild carding? Are you sticking?
I'll have to have a look on like FPL team or something, I think, and just see just what I'm working with on that like blank game week or whatever.
All
Not
right.
that blank game after the international break.
Okay. All right. No worries. Let's move on. Let's take a look at captaincy for this week. We've kind of briefly touched on it, but I've kind of alluded that there are going to be three main potential captain kind of calls for this double game week. It's going to be Watkins, it's going to be Son, and it is probably going to be Ivan Toney, the birthday boy as well. There's some other ones kind of floating around in there, maybe Maddison, maybe Bowen or Kudus, but for me, I think these are the main three, so we're going to have a discussion about potentially the best captain option for this week. Jake, we're going to start off with Ollie Watkins. 5 goals, 1 assist, 39 points for him, the highest scoring player on this list over the past 5 game weeks. Obviously, Villa playing tonight in the Europa Conference League. Do you think he'll be able to kind of recover in terms of fitness and, put in a solid performance against West Ham?
I do, and I'm sorry, I've just completely set myself. I'm really gonna like let the waterworks out here, Tom.
Hmm.
I've just had a look just to give a bit more support to this argument that Watkins is a great player and a really good shout for captaincy because I've gone for that classic. How did he do in the last game?
Of course, yeah.
Well, he scored.
Yep.
He won 4-1. He got an assist. But who scored a brace?
Oh.
Douglas Luiz.
Scrap what we said in the last section.
Oh.
Get Douglas Luiz back in the team.
Albeit that was at Villa Park, and of course, I don't actually fully bank on that. I think it's more what happens at that stadium, which I have looked at. And the last time they played West Ham at the London Stadium, Ollie Watkins scored in a 1-1 draw. So he's got the Midas touch at the London Stadium. He knows how to score there. He'll have a bit of confidence. I do believe in that, like I've always said, as deluded as people may say I am. I think there is a little bit of logic in there. But if you're a striker or if you're any player that's got a decent record at a specific stadium that isn't your home stadium, you're going to feel like you should score. So yeah, I'm not against Ollie Watkins being a captaincy option. I think the only issue is, I mean, I don't know if it really makes a difference. The fact that West Ham have had like an hour and a half extra time to recover because, of course, Villa are playing at 8, whereas West Ham have finished.
Depends if that game
Uh,
goes to extra time as well, doesn't it?
exactly, yeah. But I would also argue that it's probably been a bit of a walk in the park for West Ham from the looks of things. Whereas I'd be surprised if it's the same for Villa because it probably be quite a cagey game. That it'd be quite nerve wracking. I mean, it just depends on how that goes. Of course, we don't know how people are going to be injury wise. There could be some like casualties in that game. Hopefully not. Um, but yeah, all being well, Watkins is a great shout because he's got the record to show it and he's in red hot form.
Yeah, just to kind of add on that as well. West Ham are currently 18th over the past 5 game weeks for expected goals conceded as well. So
Wow.
not a great defence that Ollie Watkins will be coming up against. Like you said, he's got the pedigree as well at the London Stadium. I think it is just dependent on how many minutes he plays tonight.
Mm.
Like if that game goes to extra time, I think for me, kind of any other person other than Son, I think that's out the window really if it goes to extra time tonight.
Yeah, agreed.
Cool. Let's move on to Son. Obviously, 17 points for him last game week. Coming up against Fulham, who, actually looking at it, are pretty okay for XG conceded. Pretty much middle of the kind of list on here. Just a few points below Liverpool as well. So, pretty good in terms of defence. They've actually been on quite an impressive run as well. Do you think maybe they could pose a challenge for Spurs and for Son?
They could because they're at home. They could.
Mm.
But I do think Spurs will be too much for them. I think with Son back now and fully flowing following his bloody hell,
Stroke.
having a malfunction in my mouth. Yeah, after his international duty, I think he's come back. He's now all guns blazing after his performance at the weekend. I think with that, with Madison back fit, with fullbacks back, it just seems like they've got that. They've got the core to their team again. Um, they put Villa to the sword quite comfortably, I think. Um, and I don't think Fulham have that quality. That being said, who knows? Because Fulham are a bit of an iffy team. Like 1 minute they can play really well, the
Mm.
next minute they can just be a bit stale. They never seem to be terrible. They are like that. I'd be surprised if they get absolutely battered. But I do think Spurs will be too much for them. Once again, just looking if anyone's ever interested. Maybe I'm just talking to myself, talking to a wall here, but if anyone's interested in the stats of Son's form against Fulham, he got a goal and assist earlier on in the season, and he's got a goal and 2 assists in his last 2 games. That being an assist in the game at Craven Cottage as well last season. So he has got good form. Once again, pretty similar to Watkins. And then, of course, you'd argue the big difference there, if they both got good form going to these away fixtures, like we've said, Watkins has this midweek game, so he's going to be a bit more tired. Tottenham have that little bit more time to recover and rest. And Son's a midfielder, so he gets more for everything, doesn't he?
He does indeed. He does indeed. Obviously, the more for goals, more for that clean sheet point as well. So, I think it does make sense. He probably is going to be the #1 captain player this game week. So,
Yeah.
I think if you are, kind of doing all right this season, you want to kind of keep with the pack. Son's probably going to be the man to go for, isn't he?
Yeah, agreed.
Moving on to the final potential captaincy you could go for. It's a big game between Brentford and Burnley. Just want to take a look at the table, to be honest, because I've said it, and I do feel like it's extremely tight down the bottom. Let's have a look. Brentford are 15th. Yeah, they're only 5 points away from safety. So you do feel like they need to kind of, if they win this one, you do feel like they're probably going to be safe this season. Playing against Burnley, who, let's be realistic, probably aren't going to survive, are they? They're down
If they
there.
lose this, they are down, aren't they?
Exactly. So it does
This
feel...
is a game they must win.
Exactly. It feels like a massive relegation 6-pointer. You feel if Brentford go and win this game, they're probably going to be safe this season. You feel if Burnley win it, it gives them a little bit of rejuvenation, a little bit of hope going into the kind of the rest, kind of the back end towards of the season. So you feel maybe Ivan Toney, he is a big game player. Obviously going to be looking for a summer move as well. He's got to kind of prove that he's worth this big price tag that Brentford are going to put on him. Do you feel maybe this is the game where he shines? It's going to be his birthday as well.
The birthday, I do love that. I love that, Tom. And that does give me a little bit of a sympathetic view to this idea of captaining Tony. I really do like that because on your birthday, you want to do your best, don't you? But it's his birthday. Maybe he'll take a day off. I don't know if that's how it could also work. He might have put a few quid on Burnley to get a result or something. Who knows?
Well, I bet he won't do that.
But I'm just looking at it, and it's such a big game for Burnley, arguably more so than Brentford. As much as Burnley may even still go down despite winning this game, but I do think this does just pretty much call their season quits if they don't get a result on Saturday. So I feel like it's actually made me start thinking like, is Tony? I mean, let alone being a captaincy option, is Tony even the right person to be be gambling on here?
Nice.
And is a turkey in a bush actually got a bit of 4D chess going on with Fofana? Because this could be one cagey game. I don't actually think there will be many goals in this. Famous last words.
Goal fest.
But it could. It just. I feel like it stinks of a 1-0 Burnley. You know.
Okay. All right.
But if you're bringing him in, or if you've got him in and stuff, I understand why you might want to captain him. But at the same time, like we've discussed, if you don't have Watkins or Son in, you're doing something wrong. You need to wild card. You need to free hit. Sorry, ideally, if you've got that left, or you need to take a minus. Just get one of them in because I think they are the top two people you should be captaining. I think Tony is a bit below that. I think if Brentford were at home, it'd be a different story altogether. But I just feel like the Burnley fans are going to be up for this one. They know that this is a game that they must win. They've got to get behind their side. It could go Pete Tong, but I'm looking at it. The more I look at it, the more it screams 1-0. Big Norwegian Detro goal.
A Turkey in a Bush has made a very valid point as well and said Watkins got 2 assists on his special day earlier in the season. So maybe the birthday boys are going to come through again.
Yeah, but Watkins plays for Aston Villa and Tony doesn't. Tony is in a side where he has to make a lot of his opportunities himself. Watkins is part of a team where it flows. And don't get me wrong, I'm not faulting Watkins' impact in the team and how important he is to the side, but I do think it's a lot more straightforward for Watkins. I don't think they're too different in quality. I think you could swap the two players and arguably Tony would do just as well. Yeah. Unfortunately, Tony is in a side where it's just, well, they've got those identical roots, really, don't they? Because they both played for Brentford, didn't they?
They did.
But yeah, I feel like it's one of those really where it could work out. I'm not doubting that, and I do like the fact that you've gone into that research to find out that it was his birthday. It does make me feel a bit reluctant to be so downer on him, but I do think you have to remember that Watkins got 2 assists, as you say, for Aston Villa, whereas Tony's going to have to get the game by the scruff of the neck if Brentford are going to get anything from this game.
Okay, just to add further fuel to the fire here, Jamie Hayes has piped in and said Alvarez scored 2 against Burnley on his birthday.
Julian Alvarez, who plays for Manchester City?
Yep. Against Burnley.
Once again, Ivan Toney plays for Brentford. And once again, I'm not saying this isn't good. I feel like I'm going against everything I stand for by not going. It's his birthday this weekend. Go for it. Yeah. But logistically speaking, Toney plays for a side where he has to get the game by the scruff of the neck. Alvarez, I'm not once again like Watkins. He still has to have his players part, but my word, it's a whole lot easier when you play for Manchester City or you play for Aston Villa. Whereas Toney is Brentford. They will only stay up if Toney is firing.
Interestingly, just looking at some data here, Brentford are currently sat 8th for XG in the Premier League over the past few weeks. That's more than Chelsea, a lot more than Burnley. So, Brighton, they're above, Forest, Spurs, West Ham.
It's impressive. That is impressive.
So maybe Ivan's going to get some more opportunities. Who knows?
I just don't like that. I really don't. I'm calling it, mate. I'm saying 1-0 Burnley this weekend.
All right, all right. We'll see what happens with that one. We'll see what happens with that one. We have had some more questions coming in. These will be kind of the final questions. So if you do have any, get them in kind of at the pub. Final orders with the old bell. That didn't sound right. But yeah, get your questions in.
Bell.
With the old bell. I'm just ringing the old bell over here. A turkey in a bush has said, is it worth starting Murillo over Rosalev as I have Flecken in goal? I'd probably argue yes. I probably wouldn't be going for double Brentford defence, to be honest.
No, I'd agree, especially like Rosalev. There is that slight chance that you get rotated at some point, taken off, maybe brought on. Does he play left back?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's that Regulon switch and swap, isn't there? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think we had this discussion a week or so ago, and he played. I think you got the stats up, and he played quite a few minutes. But when you've got the option,
actually, he's the right back. He's the right back. Ignore
is
that.
he?
Yeah, he's the right back.
I've definitely seen him in the last few weeks come off the bench and go off. So like there is that substitution risk.
All right.
But Murillo does play.
True.
The only thing for that is like I touched on earlier on. I think like we were saying with Burnley against Brentford being a massive 6-pointer, Luton against Forest ain't much difference. That is one hell of a game for both sides because Luton arguably have got a slight glimmer of hope for survival if we are going to write off Burnley this early. I say this early, we're in game week 29. But Luton actually have got a bit of character about them. They have, like, that you can see there's something there. Quality is lacking. They do still have arguably a bit too much of a championship integrated side. I think that was clear on Wednesday and in other games where they haven't been able to just pull games back, like against Villa, even at home. They showed that tenacity, they showed that character to pull it back, but then they just didn't have that experience or discipline to hold on or nick a winner. But they definitely have something about them. They definitely have something about them at home. So, I mean, as much as I'd say Murillo over Roslev there, I don't think it's a banker for Forest to keep a clean sheet there.
All right, okay. St. Ledger has said, morning guys, Foden to Maddison for a -4, or is Johnson, Brennan Johnson that is, the more explosive pick? Who would you go for?
No, Maddison.
I think I'd agree with that one. I'd go Maddison as well.
You got Kulusevski, you got Werner, you got Johnson. You just don't want to. You don't like it. Hey, to be fair, like it's one of those. It's one of those in this kind of game week. Who knows? Maybe that would be that 1 week where Johnson does something. I think he scored, did he, at the weekend?
True.
But I mean, if you, it's a shame you're doing it for a -4. If there was more option for you to bring 2 players in, I wouldn't be against Johnson as well. But I think Maddison, you've got to bank on more.
All right. Yeah, I'm pretty good with that. We are going to end Bed Shitter of the Week. Thank you for everyone who did get their votes in for the Most Illustrious Award. And we do have a slight winner. The stats are wrong again. So thank you, YouTube, for that one. 53% to Kirkrez, 46%, if I can get my words out, to Dominic Solanke. So Kirkrez is the winner. I feel a lot of people felt that pain with the yellow card, going off at halftime, and then not even starting on not Saturday. I read someone's comment. Not even starting yesterday in the game against Luton. So I feel a lot of people felt that pain, especially with the other defenders popping up with goals and assists as well. So I do feel your pain if you did go down the Kirkez route. So congratulations to him. He is our bed shitter of the week for double game week 28. Jake, we're going to finish up asking the best question of all time, really. It's going to be, what is the highest scoring game of this game week?
I know what you're going to say, just in spite of everything I've just said.
Yep.
I'll go Fulham Tottenham.
Okay. All right. Fulham Tottenham. I think that's pretty respectable. I'm of course going to go for Burnley Brentford after you said it was going to be a tight affair. I feel that could very easily. Yeah. It's going to be a goal fest. It's going to be a goal fest.
Cool.
Yeah, there we go. Well, there's that. Thank you very much for everyone who has watched today's preview stream. Like I said, I think I will do a deadline stream. I'll try and sort something out. it will be up at some point, but I won't be here for like the right kind of last maybe 15 minutes of the deadline. So unfortunately, you won't have me for that time. But everything beforehand, you will have me. We will be doing the team reviews and all that good stuff if I can find some time to kind of do it before I do head to the game. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. I will announce it on Twitter if we are. Jamie said mystery 1%er, as always, the YouTube poll. It's just a little bit questionable, but it is what it is. Thank you very much for everyone who has been watching today's stream. Like I said, massively appreciated by me. And if you have enjoyed any of the content, be sure to like, comment, and of course the main one being subscribe to the channel. But thank you very much from me, and I'm guessing a thank you from you, Jake.
Yep. Ciao, ciao, Jamie, and the rest of you.
Oh, special shout out for Jamie, is it?
I just came up as I was saying goodbye, and it said ciao, ciao. I like that. I wanted to say that. I need to get to Tom.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.